supposed to say something, so I will. I was there for that baptism, by the way. Is this thing on? Okay. And Dad left out. It was in the wintertime, and they broke ice to baptize him, and there was another older lady there, and they both got baptized in ice water. Okay, I was there for that. And I remember sitting on the ice and looking below, not much paying attention to the baptism, but looking at the catfish swimming around in Stone Lake Lake. Do you remember that?
I remember being in the ice.
Yeah.
I don't remember the catfish.
Oh, I remember the catfish. Well, anyhow, I was never successful in any catfish in Stone Lake Lake, but we spent many, many days. Dad bought a boat. Steve and I and Dad would load it on the car. And Tim, were you part of that? We would go down to Stone Lake, and we had a place where we would go to catch bluegills, and that's what we did. We spent a lot of time driving before I-275 up to Stone Lake Lake. And always when we finished, we'd come back Branch Hill, Guinea Pike at an old, they didn't call them convenience stores back then. It was any store that you happened to come across was convenient because there wasn't that many of them. So we would stop and get Barks cream soda and green onion potato chips. That was the highlight of our fishing trip. And we dig in that bag that we had just been picking up night crawlers and slimy fish with, and we had a good old time. So anyhow, Dad spent time with us, and we all have memories of the different things that we used to do together, and I could ramble on about many of them. But when you mentioned the lake and the baptism, that brought those to mind. But just to close rather quickly, I'm reminded of, once again, scriptures in the book of Daniel, where Daniel's called to interpret dreams. And he recalls to Belshazzar his father's life. And his mother, Belshazzar's mother, had told him to go get Daniel because he could interpret dreams. So you had the witness of a mother telling him to go find the prophet who could interpret his dream. And you had the witness of his father. Because Daniel said to him, he says, your father was the king, and he had all these things. He ruled kingdoms, and he was brought low by the Lord. He had failures in his life, and he had successes. And he came to, and if you know the story of King Nebuchadnezzar, he proclaimed the Jehovah God as the one true God. But I want to focus on the witness of the mother, sending him to the prophet, and the witness of the father's life and the mother's life as an example to him, which he disregarded and wound up costing him his kingdom. We don't want to disregard the example of our mother and our father, and I personally won't, and I ask my brothers and sisters to do the same. They're hard workers, they love us, they've given everything for us. And we don't want to come to a time when somebody has to come and remind us, your mother and your father set an example for you. Why aren't you following it? Let's follow it.